You would have thought that, you know, the last we heard was the last we heard, but it would seem like unless something is done about it, it's just something that's just continue unabatedly. Between October last year and as recent as 4 weeks ago, tanker explosions, incidences of tanker accidents, seeing to the loss of lives and loss of investments have pervaded the country, you know, a good number of times. And one organization has decided to do something about it. And that's the subject of this conversation with Engineer Dr. John Erine, who is a fellow Nigeria Society of Chemical Engineers, fellow Nigeria Society of Engineers. He's also Vice Chairman, Board of Fellows of the Nigerian Institute of Safety Engineers, and former National President, Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, it would seem like everyone stopped talking about it for a while, right? So why did you decide that, no, we shouldn't just let it lie low?
Because the problem didn't go away. That we didn't talk about it, or people didn't talk about it, didn't mean that the problem didn't exist or that it ceased to be worrisome. It's a very, very worrisome situation we're faced with. The carnage on our roads, on our highways, is totally unacceptable. We've been roasting and destroying lives and assets and properties across the country. It's just not acceptable.
But do you think we've been able to track what the real issue is, or what can you say is the common thread around that cuts across all cases of tanker explosion or tanker accidents that saw to the loss of lives in Nigeria?
Yeah, professionals and stakeholders in that specific space have an idea of what the issues are. But I also want to say that tomorrow and next, we're going to have a major national workshop at Abuja where all the issues are going to be x-rayed and dissected in great detail, and to come out with, hopefully come out with workable positions and decisions on the way forward to curb and to end the menace of explosions and incidents on our highways involving petroleum products tankers.
I'm not sure that the tanker drivers themselves are going to be in the room to have that discussion. That's why I'm asking that question. Maybe it's some negligence on their part or something, maybe qualification of the people who are supposed to be driving the tankers. What are the common issues that are going to be discussed in
Okay, first of all, I'll say that the tanker drivers and all stakeholders are going to be there.
Okay.
I will also say that, broadly speaking, the issues surrounding these incidents may be categorized under human error, tank truck inadequacies, and then, very importantly, the highway infrastructure condition. So those perhaps are the three most important pockets into which you can put all the causative factors.
How about regulation? Because I wonder how unlatched tankers or trucks, for instance, will get out of a depot, so to speak, without the appropriate, would even be allowed to leave the depot in the first place when they are supposed to know that it's not safe for this fellow to be on the road.
Yeah, regulatory enforcement in particular cuts across all these factors. So regulation, of course, is an all-important and all-embracing situation that affects the industry and that also brings to bear on the incidents we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, so you've mentioned that a number of people are going to be in the room for this discussion tomorrow. What are some of the issues that are likely to be raised?
I mean, there's just one issue. We've got how to stop the carnage on our roads, the incidents involving petroleum products tank trucks.
And who are the people that are likely to be in the room, aside from
all stakeholders are going to be there. Stakeholders from the engineering family, stakeholders from the downstream petroleum industry, regulators in the industry, and professional associations, and all that. Yeah.
So, part of the expected outcomes are policy recommendations and regulatory action, as well as the formation of a multi-stakeholder petroleum product safety committee. What's that? What's the intention for that?
Sorry, before I answer your question, also
yes.
the media has to be there, because the media are also a very important component of the team.
Okay.
But coming on to your question, yes, we're hoping that at the end of the workshop, we're going to be able to distill some measures which will be delegated to a stakeholder group that will work with the regulators to ensure that everybody buys into these measures, and that they are enforceable, and that they're going to be enforced, and that we're going to have a much safer industry going forward. And we're going to drastically curtail the number of incidents involving petroleum product tank trucks.
Perhaps one of the other issues that can be identified is that there weren't such strong or strong enough to deter people actions, consequences, to deter people from doing or taking actions or performing activities that have led to some of these explosions over time.
Well, I wouldn't want to just exclusively put it that way. Like I said earlier on, there are a number of factors. Take the highways. Our roads are in very bad shape. And unfortunately, petroleum products distribution is now almost exclusively done through tank trucks on our highways. Years ago, we had a network of pipelines that crisscrossed the country, and they were there for distribution of petroleum products through all the inland depots. With that, the number of tank trucks required was a lot less. The number of tank trucks you saw on the highways was far less than what you see today. So, of course, by consequence, the number of incidents was also far less than what we have today. So that is just one of the causative factors. And the fact that the highways are in very bad shape also means that they are going to naturally, consequentially, there'll be far more road accidents involving the tank trucks.
Do you see a return to those days of fuel petroleum products being piped across the country?
From a professional standpoint and as a concerned Nigerian, I yearn for that, and I honestly believe that sooner or later we're going to have to get back there. That's the only way to go forward. We can't rely on the highways for completely for distribution of petroleum products.
Do you see it happening? How soon do you see that happening?
Sincerely, I can't say, because I'm not in government. It depends on the will of government to address that problem, and that is part of what our workshop is going to be all about. To draw the attention of government and policy makers to the crucial importance of ensuring that something is done about reactivation and recommissioning of the network of pipelines for distribution of petroleum products. A country of this size, with a population of over 200 million people, cannot depend on tank trucks for distribution, exclusively for distribution of petroleum products. It's not going to work.
Someone will wonder what exactly happened to those pipelines in the first place.
A couple of things. One of the major issues is security. A lot of them have been punctured willfully, like people carrying out nefarious activities and criminals. In other situations, it's a natural process. Those pipelines were laid approximately 50 years ago, and many of them are old-aged and they need to be replaced. The depots they service are also in bad shape. They all need to be refurbished. All these things call for a lot of investment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so just to say again that the Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers is holding a national workshop on petroleum tanker explosions tomorrow?
Tomorrow and Wednesday, Tuesday and Wednesday at Abuja.
Where in Abuja?
At the theater of Nigerian Society of Engineers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the most we can wish you is good luck with your event, and we just sincerely hope that, it's like a kind of all hands on deck, just to ensure that we have the kind of Nigeria that we want for ourselves. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Engineer Dr. John Erine is a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. He is Vice Chairman Board of Fellows of the Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers, former National President, Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers, and Coordinator, Process Safety Initiative of Nigeria. Again, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much. I will look forward to a safer Nigeria for all of us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.